Plaquemine Parish Council, October the 12th. Council meeting is now called to order. We'll have roll call. Let the record reflect that all 9 council members is present. We'll move to item 11A1.
A resolution urging the United States Army Corps of Engineers to immediately close and/or place control structures on major crevices upriver from the Venice Jump, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Jurisic.
Offer for suspension.
We have a motion by Mr. Jurisic. Do we have a unanimous second? We have a unanimous second. You read the item again?
A resolution urging the United States.
You got to vote on it.
Got a vote.
Okay.
We never voted.
Machine's open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
A resolution urging the United States Army Corps of Engineers to immediately close and/or place control structures on major crevices upriver from the Venice Jump, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Jurisic.
I so offer. Ask for a unanimous second.
We have a unanimous second. We have a unanimous second. Mr. Jurisic?
Yes, just as we just heard with the port meeting, this one is on behalf of Plaquemine Parish government. This is more to deal with the saltwater intrusion issues we are facing, because both of these things, these companion bills pretty much say the same thing, that we're going to urge the Corps to take action on these major crevices and passes that we have on the east bank of the river north of the Venice Jump. We lose 60 to 80% of our water flow down towards the mouth of the river due to these crevasses letting so much water out further upstream. That loss in flow is allowing the salt water to creep in the river much faster. And as we talked during the port meeting, also these crevasses are roughly 45 miles or more further upriver than where the river used to exit into the Gulf. That being said, we're allowing salt water 45 miles further upstream than we did in the past, prior to 2012, 2004, actually, when these crevasses started. So we're urging the Corps, due to the saltwater intrusion issue, that we don't think this is going to be just an every so often event. This could very well be a yearly event now, with the change in river flow, change in patterns. So what we're urging the Corps to do is get the river channel back in check. For one thing, if you look at the fractured east bank of the river north of the Venice Jump, 25 plus breaches, along with the major crevasses and passes, we get another high river event like we had in 2019. These small fractures could easily turn into major passes. And this is something, it's the Corps' responsibility to keep the river flowing. We need the river to flow from north to south, not from south to north, which is happening today. So that for these reasons, I'm urging the council to support this, and we move forward. And also, I urge St. Bernard Parish, I'm going to urge, Orleans Parish, City of Gretna, and Jefferson Parish to do similar resolutions as well, so that they can all jump on board, because this is affecting them. They may have a little reprieve right now, but I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel anytime soon, not till maybe after the beginning of the year, if then. So they're not out of the woods. They may have been pulled back a little bit, but I think this is equally as urgent to them to get on board with us as well. And for those reasons, I'm offering this resolution.
Is there any comments from the audience? Mr. Konovich?
I could tell you there was no Neptune Pass throughout history. Neptune Pass, they started calling it last year. That was a full-size levee, 10 feet high, the length of from Ostrika down. Cows are the ones that ate up the levee, kept crossing and crossing, and eventually it started water getting in, except kept extending itself, getting bigger. Now it's over 800 feet wide, 100 feet deep, over a mile long. All of it was land before, and like I said, they keep saying it's building land. It just moved land. So the Corps needs to quit listening to people that show you studies, they'll show you pictures in the wintertime when the river's low, look all this land it built. Then in the summertime when the river's high, it's underwater. Thank you.
Any more comments from the table? Machines is open?
President?
Oh, I didn't see it.
That's okay.
Mr. President?
That's all right. I just want to reiterate what, Councilman Jurisic was saying about the Mardi Gras Pass and also Councilman Champagne. When you take a look at the saltwater intrusion today, 3 of our 5 facilities are inundated with the salt water. That's Boothville, Venice, Port Sulphur facility, and Point LaHatch facility. And what the paper was saying on Monday, that the salt water will continue on an annual basis or every other year or more often, those 3 facilities will always be inundated with the salt water. So we're going to be presenting a plan tomorrow. We've got from the White House, we got a group coming from the National Security Council. So we'll be presenting them with a plan on the rock revetment at Mardi Gras Pass and to get it back to basically what Councilman Konovich was saying is to what it was truly meant for, not a 50 or 100 foot wide opening right there, but more or less just a controlled system to allow the fresh water to come in for the proper way of handling growth and the whole system right there. So again, this resolution right here is dealing with the saltwater intrusion. I understand the previous one was dealing with the flow of the navigation in the river there. So this is a good project here, a good resolution here. So thank you for this.
Any more comments from the table? Machines open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0. While I have this time, I would like to go to item F while we're on this subject.
Let me get there.
9F.
A resolution authorizing the parish president to investigate property options for the location of a water treatment plant in or near Naomi, Louisiana, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
I so offered.
Second.
Second. Do I have a unanimous second? We have a unanimous second. Mr. President.
The screen has C on it instead of that.
Yes. Mr. President.
What this does, this gives us the opportunity to start exploring properties, which is areas above Laura Seat, north of Laura Seat right there. What we were looking at when this saltwater intrusion's coming up the river, the sill that the Corps builds, and it seems like that's going to be an ongoing process right there. That's at mile 63.8. So this is north of mile 63.8. Plus, it also puts it behind the levee protection, so the base flood elevations aren't as stringent. They're not as, we don't have to build as high. So, but this is also a facility that will be able to support in the future all the way to the Venice area, and if need be, all the way to the Belle Chase area. What we're doing here is we're going to be doing some public assistance. We're going to be looking to the areas that are affected, like the Boothville Venice plant. We're going to want to be doing an upgrade with a permanent RO right there. This resolution right here will allow us to build a facility in the middle of the parish, because the way the geography of our parish is that we have to be prepared in the future, not only for this saltwater intrusion, but just as we have polders throughout our parish, it affords us the opportunity, if Belle Chase should ever flood, we'll have a facility here. If this area floods, Belle Chase will still be available. But it also, what we're talking about doing is Boothville Venice will also be able to have a functional water system as well. So this this just gets us moving forward, and it's combating the saltwater intrusions situation that we're in right now.
Is there any comments from the audience?
Donald Valley. Where is this going to be situated in regards to the ring levee that's around Jesuit Bend? And
We're looking at putting it inside that system right there, in that polder.
how's it going to affect, at one time, Councilman Trudy Newberry proposed raising the highway to complete the
No.
ring levee. That's out
This is a different polder here. This is north of that area. there.
north of that area? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there any more comments from the audience? Mr. Lawrence.
Yes, one comment I'd have is a suggestion is that I think it's a good idea to be in the middle of the parish, but I think we should think out the box a little bit and look at, why don't we take some of the area in there and make a big reservoir that when the river's high and has a fresh water, we have borrow pits and everything in there that could stack up a lot of water that maybe last you for 3 or 4 months, and have that plant available, or any plant available, if there's land available in those locations, that you back it up with reservoirs. You go all around the country, and that's what you do, is you use reservoirs as the place to do and stack up your fresh water, so when the salt water comes up, you have a backup. And there's a lot of land available in there for that, and it's just something my experience is with water treatment and everything, is that's the place. You can't have enough water towers, but you sure can have plenty of reservoirs to handle it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can give a comment on that. I mean, we do have reservoirs in the parish right now. We do have a reservoir that would support the Boothville Venice plant, but because of the brain-eating amoeba some years ago, that the LDH doesn't allow us to do that right there.
Any more comments from the audience? From the table? Dr. Gouy?
Thank you, Mr. President. And I think we can collectively make a statement that I think will ring true not only now but in the future. The saltwater problem's going to go away temporarily, but we know it's going to come back. What's not going to go away is our efforts to continually provide safe drinking water for this parish.
Absolutely.
And the plan that you laid out is a testament to that, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
I just wanted to let the public know that the government and administration, that we are not sitting down, that we are attacking this issue, and we have the port and the government that's working together to help alleviate this problem. One thing that you didn't mention, I think, that we are looking to construct a water plant that's going to produce at least 15 million gallons per day, and that would help for any extension with the port also. Okay. Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0. I'll entertain a motion for recess.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich,
And there's a second.
seconded by Mr. Schultz. Machines are open. And the measure passes 9-0. We'll have recess at 3:40 p.m. Okay. We'll return from recess at 6:06 p.m. We'll move to item 2, please.
Executive session, there are none. 3, proclamations. A proclamation declaring October 18th through 22nd Christian Ministers Missionary Baptist Association Week. Councilmember Edwards.
We have a motion by Reverend Evans. Do we have a unanimous second? We have a unanimous second.
The Almighty God has sent his great message of hope and redemption to the inhabitants of earth based on his forgiveness of sins, the salvation of sinners, and the offering of eternal life with him in his glorious and eternal home in heaven. The many religious men of the east and west banks of Plaquemines Parish who were called and chosen by God accepted the religious calling of God and became convicted and committed to the great commission of our Lord, as is recorded in St. Matthew 28:18-20. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commended you. I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. The many religious leaders of our parish, whom God elevated to the leadership roles of the pastorage, came together in 1952 while in the middle of the 20th century to combine their collective spiritual, mental, and physical abilities into the creation and organizing of the Christian Ministers Missionary Baptist Association of Plaquemines Parish. The CMMBA has met the resulting spiritual and physical challenges of the 20th century and is continuing that great work in the 21st century with the declaration that Jesus has all authority in heaven and on earth. District 1 Councilman Reverend Tyrone Edwards is the first Vice President of CMMBA, and Crystal Taylor, Director of Administration, is an active member, and many of our employees are members of this great spiritual organization. The Plaquemines Parish government recognized the living past CMMBA's presidents, Bishop Wilfred Johnson, Reverend Dr. Darnell Smith, Reverend Dr. Theodore Turner, Reverend Dr. Michael Wade Sr., Reverend Dr. Joseph A. Brooks, Reverend Dr. Ramel E. Griffin. The CMMBA will be celebrating its 71st annual session on October 18th through 29th, 2023, under the leadership of its current president, Reverend Alan Johnson, pastor of the Greater Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church of Port Sulphur, Louisiana. This 71st annual session will be hosted by the Bethlehem Baptist Church located at 111 Bethlehem Lane, Brathwaite, LA, where the Reverend Dr. Michael W. Giles Sr. will serve as the host pastor. Be it proclaimed that the Plaquemines Parish government establishes October 18th through October 22nd, 2023, Christian Ministers Missionary Baptist Association Week in the parish of Plaquemines. That is it.
Reverend Edwards, you would like to speak?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited today because we have our president, the Reverend Alan Johnson, with us, who's the pastor of the Greater Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Association. We have two other of our executive board members here. We have Bishop Wilfred Johnson, one, who's the past president, and we have the pastor of the Macedonia Baptist Church in the back with us, Pastor Pandy. So I'm going to ask our president to come up if you want to make any comments.
Amen. To President of this great parish, President Hinckley, to our chairman of this council board, and also to all the councilmen, especially my first vice president, Reverend Dr. Tyrone Edwards, who's doing a great work for the East Bank, and he's doing a great job. And it is, I asked our senior spokesman, is this the first time that we're getting a proclamation? Bishop Johnson been around this association for longer than I've been living almost. And this is the first time that we're getting the proclamation, and we just want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. May God bless you, and may God keep you, and you are always in our prayer.
We're going to take a group picture with you.
Yeah.
Vote on it.
Yeah.
I know it's.
So we did.
Vote on it.
Call for the vote.
Well,
We excited. There you go, Mr. Edwards. Keep rolling.
All right. Oh, bro, don't do that, bro.
Can't get the picture.
Yeah, you know that's a mistake.
You can't get the picture.
Yeah.
We need to get some, y'all need to say some more prayers.
and the measure passes unanimously 9-0.
Man, I got my name on it.
You gonna come about president?
Yeah, come in the middle.
I'm sorry, Patty. Get in the front. Oh, heck yeah. What? So what?
Watch out, you're getting close there.
Everybody looking good? One, two. Gotcha. Patty, why you keep touching my butt? Patty, I'm gonna tell my wife. Patty, you're naughty. Patty's naughty. One more time. One more. All right, Patty. Get him one more time. Get him one more time, Miss Patty. One, two. All right. Patty. You gotta go to confession. Patty better go to confession. One, two. Okay, Jill Sank. Jill Sank. Oh, we just changed your weather. Got Patty all warmed up.
Yeah, being a key. I love you. Yeah. Look out, Brian.
I did not do it.
That's what I said. I said, Brian's got nice bunches.
That's
I
a
don't
fun.
know.
How you doing there, Patty?
Wouldn't know yet.
I wouldn't know yet. yet.
You know, I knew we were council neighbors, but I knew we were that good of neighbors.
Say that again, Patty, you wanna see him out?
There you go. You got it. Before you make any comment, any more comments?
See him in his whitey tighty,
Mr. Chairman, can you go to 11?
Please, let's get that out of the way.
You did yours, huh?
Yeah, it
11A.
It does.
71 years. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, another for the orange.
Oh,
Voted no for his own proclamation.
Hey, Roger, Champagne, leave that alone, bro. Leave that alone, bro. Leave that alone, bro. Anybody else would have thought different, but they already know.
They know. That's what was so funny about that.
But you pull my hand, that's that way.
Devil.
Wait, no, Kim,
Ready?
You can go ahead.
we good? Can we move to item 11A
Sure.
for suspension of the rules?
Introduction of resolutions where a suspension is being sought. A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to assist the Plaquemines Parish Fair and Orange Festival, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotnovich.
I'll offer.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich,
Unanimous second.
seconded.
Unanimous second.
We have a unanimous second. This is for suspension of the rules,
Add it to the agenda.
add it to the agenda. We have a motion and unanimous second to add it to the agenda. Machine's open.
Begin vote.
And the measure passes 8-4, one abstention.
I got to do something to make up for what I just did.
A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee.
Yeah.
Can you add it if it's not unanimous?
Oh, I'm sorry, up there.
Verbal, yeah.
You just do a verbal yes?
Yes.
He's having trouble with the buttons today.
No, you do. You voted yes.
He has got.
Okay?
A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to assist the Plaquemines Parish Fair and Orange Festival, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
We have a motion by Mr. Conrad, seconded by Mr. Jurtich.
Now on the red button is for yes.
Any comment from the audience,
This is for the
from the
suspension.
table? Machine's open. And the measure passes 9-0.
A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to assist the Plaquemines Parish Fair and Orange Festival and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
Offer.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Conover, seconded by Mr. Durchich. Any comments from the audience? From the table? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0. We'll go back to the
Going back.
beginning of the agenda.
Okay. 4, status report by the parish president.
Mr. President?
Thank you.
Oh, we want to talk about fresh water.
Well, we do have fresh water. During our meeting with the governor this morning, GOSEP and the Corps, we do know that the toe of the wedge has receded back behind south of the underwater sill. So what that means is it's pushed the date for the colony of saltwater to be in the Belle Chase area for October the 27th of this month, and they're predicting for Dalcor by November the 1st. So that's good news right there, because we are pushing water on the West Bank from Belle Chase to Port Sulphur all the way to Boothville, Venice. So by the Belle Chase facility not having to be concerned about the saltwater intrusion, that gives us the water throughout the entire West Bank of Plaquemines, the West Bank side of Plaquemines Parish. The ROs have been installed. They're in place in Boothville, Port Sulphur, Belle Chase, Point Lahash, and they're in Dalcor also. They're working on getting hooked up electrical wise. That seems to be a challenge. There was challenges last year, and it continues to be some challenges this year. Port Sulphur is ready to go. It's on generator power right now. We're just waiting for Entergy to do the hard wiring. Point Lahash, in the same situation, they're ready to be up and running. Dalcor is ready to go. Boothville, Venice is ready to go as well. Belle Chase, because of the amount of the reverse osmosis, there's going to be 10 trailers there. There's 5 reverse osmosis trailers and 5 of the microfiltration trailers also. So, but it's good news for Plaquemines Parish. There's good water throughout the parish, both East and West Bank. Today, the readings, the chloride levels on a finished side, starting in Boothville, it was 85. In Port Sulphur was 65. Point Lahash was 120. Dalcor, it was 60. And Belle Chase, 66. Again, those numbers need to stay below the 250 levels right there, so we're doing good. We also had LDH selected 16 residences throughout the parish. 15 of the 16 samples came back with levels below what was necessary. There was some questions, really weren't any questions. They just kind of felt like it was false readings on that 16th one. They sent the test back. It came back below. And that's tests for lead and copper. So there is no lead and copper in our drinking water. We are working with FEMA to get assistance on emergency protective measures. That's what we're doing right now. We're going to be moving forward with the areas that have been affected, which is going to be public assistance, which would be in the areas from Empire south to Venice, and then from Phoenix down to Bohemia. And then on the other areas, we're going to look at hazard mitigation right there to try to prevent this from happening in the future. And those areas, what we're looking at, this is going to be both on the water side and the wastewater side. In those areas, We're going to be looking at the cast iron, the water pipes that we have, and what's the potential problems in those areas. And then, and I said earlier, just a few seconds ago, the mitigation to prevent this from happening if it should happen in other areas as well. And we're also still looking and for the processes of helping the residents with their appliances. So these are things that we are looking into and working on every day to help the residents of the affected areas there. We do have a town hall meeting next Wednesday at Burris Auditorium from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And tomorrow at 10:30, we have some White House dignitaries. They're going to be flying in as the National Security Council. And what we're going to be doing, we have a rendering of what we're going to be looking at is a facility, an upgrade for the Boothville Venice plant, and to have a permanent reverse osmosis and the microfiltration system for both Boothville and the Port Sulphur facilities. We're also going to be talking about creating like we talked about earlier during the port meeting, the facility in the middle of the parish. We're going to be looking at the Naomi area, a 15 million a day facility there with a built-in reverse osmosis and a filtration system there as well. So with that being said, that's where we are with the salt water. I tell you, we are in front of it. I know we had some setbacks on the southern end of the parish, and it's sad to say, but the whole metropolitan area has been educated on the backs of our residents from Empire down to Boothville, Venice. I'm sorry to say that, but and I truly believe that we're all resilient here. We do have good water in the parish right now, and a lot of phone calls have been made to me regarding that, and from the other communities, from Gretna, Jefferson Parish, and Orleans Parish, and St. Bernard Parish. So we've been able to help those other communities with just helping them in a direction as to who to call, how to call, and what to look for, what to look for in the whole situation there. So,
Is there any comment from the audience? From the table, Ms. McCarty?
I think the parish is doing an excellent job with the water situation. People are constantly asking me for the results of the chloride test, and they're consistently coming in at exceptional levels. So for the people on the north side of the bridge, I just want to confirm for them that Fort St. Leon North neighborhood is still in Gretna water system, Jefferson Parish water system, and Engineers Road is still on Bell Chase.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
And, the Bell Chase facilities was at 66, so their levels are going to be below 66. I mean, they're probably going to be in the same area right there. And look, I want to thank you guys, on the council. I appreciate the fact that, some have been coming in, and I welcome anyone and everyone to sit in on these meetings and just be a part of this whole process that's going on and just see what we are going through right here. And you could, I think a couple of you sat in the meeting this week, and you could see everyone from all different parish governments and from state level down to the local level, the people that are working to mitigate this problem right here that we're facing. And I want to thank you guys for what we're doing right now with the river, with these openings. I think it's going to send a real good message. We're going to send that message to this Security Council tomorrow. We have renderings of the facilities that we're talking about doing with the upgrading of the facilities and also the new plant. We've got that, and plus we also have drawings of the Mardi Gras Pass and what we want to do as far as the rock revetment and bringing it back to the original opening where you can control that flow into the marsh there. So I want to thank the administration here, Rennie, and I mean, this has been a 7-day-a-week process that we've been going through here in the last 3 to 4 weeks. When that tow started moving up the river, it was a crazy kind of a storm that we were faced with right there. Really didn't think that was going to happen. Just truly believed that we were only going to have to try to deal with and work on getting water to the Boothville Venice plant. But then all of a sudden, our Port Sulphur plant got inundated. The Point Lahash facility got inundated. But, you know, with some of the decisions that we made early on with the booster station and getting that water plant up in Belle Chase, in Port Sulphur, I'm sorry, getting that back up and going, that really helped speed up things right there. So, but again, it's been a whole team effort here between the council, the administration, the state, and GOSEP and the Corps engineers there. So, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your report. Any more comments from the table? We'll move to the next item, please.
I tell you, we're going to be kind of weak here today on that. Billy is homesick, believe it or not. I didn't think he would ever miss a day of work, but obviously it got him down. And Miss Taylor is in Oklahoma. A good friend of hers passed away, so she's attending their funeral there. So we do have Jeff with us today.
Not at all. Thank you. Couple of things. September, we had 17 water line breaks. So far October, it's been pretty busy. So far in October, we've had 13. The fire hydrant leaking on Avenue G. G Street. I'm sorry. They installed the insertion valve, which allowed them to shut the water off to do that repair. The fire hydrant has been repaired. It's been a long time coming, but they have repaired that one. There's 2 other ones a little bit further north that needs to be handled, but they got the main one fixed today. The Jesuit Bend concrete repairs, they're about 90% complete. Belle Chase concrete repairs, they go out for quotes for contractors before the end of the year. So they get working on that when they're done with the Jesuit Bend repairs. Draft plans for patching of Highway 11 was submitted a few weeks ago. They've been advanced to 95% complete. We're waiting on the grant approval for that lift station by Daybrook. That really needs to happen first. Because the patching job is between the canal, Dulat Canal, and Kazazu. And that's it for me.
Mr. Konovich?
Any word on getting some rocks by the harbors?
Yeah.
I got people ready to spread them.
Okay, at Buras?
Buras and Venice.
Okay.
And then about the cable or chain across that launch, because duck hunting season's fixing to open again.
I was going to put the sign up first as a warning, and I'm still waiting on the sign. Sign's been ordered. I'm just waiting on that sign.
Thank you.
I didn't want to throw everything into chaos and do it all at once, because you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know how they're going to treat a sign like the speed limit sign.
Well, and they're gonna treat the chain the same way. They're gonna throw it in the water.
If they can't get it off the piling, they can't throw it in the water.
They'll get it, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to the next item, please.
5, bids and advertisements. There are none. 6, beer and liquor licenses.
Key in if you have one. Mr. Konovich?
Yes. September 21st, 2023, Buras Volunteer Fire Department trunk or treat on October 31st. P.O. Box 730, Buras River Road, Buras. Then we got Buras Volunteer Fire Department Community Event Ball Off, April 27th, 2024. 35410 Highway 11, Buras.
Any more from the table? You so offered?
Offer.
Offered by Mr. Conovich, seconded by Mr. Jurich. Any comment from the audience? From the table? Administration. Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously 9-0.
7, building permits. 7A, construction permits.
We'll take B, C, and D in global.
Serrano Mobile Park, Sigfredo Properties LLC, Trailer Park Renewal, RL Lane, Triumph, Louisiana, Councilmember Kotnovich. Victor Scarsoni, MVS Properties, Cedar Grove RV Park, final approval for a RV Park, 11189 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana. TSWS Environmental Properties LLC, Pato Gold LLC, Business Occupancy, 11188 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana, Councilmember Newsom.
We have a motion by Mr. Newsom, seconded by Mr. Conovich. Any comments from the table? Audience, administration, machines open. And the measure passes 8-4, 1 abstention from District 9. Could we go to item G, please?
A resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $12 million of revenue bonds of the Parish of Plaquemine, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Councilmember LaFrance.
I so offered. Seconded by Mr. Conovich. Please state your name and address, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jason Akers of Full and Udell. I thought you were going to let me get by without comment this evening, but happy to answer any questions you have. Just put very briefly, this is the $12 million Department of Natural Resources loan that we have discussed previously. This is different than the hurricane recovery loan that you approved a few months ago. That loan is already closed. Those proceeds are available and are in the process of being expended. This is specific to drainage pumping stations and any other improvements that may be approved by the Department of Natural Resources. It is a low interest, 2% fixed rate, plus an additional 50 basis point servicing fee that is charged by the lender, and it's fixed for the 10-year life of the loan. So that's an all-in cost of 2.5%, fixed for the life of the loan. Just by comparison purposes, earlier today, the 10-year Treasury was approximately 4.6 to 4.7%. So you're significantly below that, and you've locked it in for the life. This will be your final approval. We're anticipating closing on November 1st, and then we'll be moving forward with construction, or the parish will be moving forward with construction at that point. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Are there any comments from the audience? From the table? Dr. Gui, you keyed in?
Yes. No way.
Okay. Administration, machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
Thank you.
Eight, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
We have several. The following are for Councilmember LaFrance, a resolution to cancel the November 23rd, 2023 and December 28th, 2023 regularly scheduled council meetings due to the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holiday, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a donation for Homeland Security / Emergency Preparedness Department, and to amend the 2023 General Fund operating revenue and expenditure budgets, Homeland Security / Emergency Preparedness Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to provide office space to the Louisiana Department of Family Services in Building 600, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The following are for Councilmember Jurisic. An ordinance renaming Hunters Park / Perez Park as Jesuit Bend Park, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and as amended readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as amended, and the Comprehensive Zoning District Map, therein adopted by reference, and which is paraphrased thereto, with reference to application number 2023-533, dated August 11th, 2023, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and as amended to readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as amended, and the Comprehensive Zoning District Map therein adopted by reference, and which is paraphrased thereto with reference to application number 2023-537, dated August 28, 23, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and as amended to readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as amended, and the Comprehensive Zoning District Map therein adopted by reference, and which is paraphrased thereto, with reference to application number 2023-532, dated June 27, 2023, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The following are for Councilmember Newsom, a resolution electing the chairperson of the Plaquemines Parish Council for the year 2024, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend ordinance to amend and as amended, readopt Chapter 21 of the Parish Code of Ordinances, subsection C, of Sections 21-115 and 21-136, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And finally, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, repairs, Coast Guard Road project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This one is for Councilmember McCarty, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, improvements, Fort St. Leon Park project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This one is for Councilmember Schultz, a resolution electing the vice chairperson of the Plaquemines Parish Council for the year 2024, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This one is for Councilmember Champagne, a resolution authorizing the parish president to assign office space at 333 F. Edward A. Baer Boulevard, Belle Chase Government Complex, Building Number 100, Office 136 and 138 to the Coroner's Office, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And the last one is for Councilmember Edwards, an ordinance to amend and as amended, readopt Section 17.5-2 of Chapter 17.5, Article 1, Parks, Recreation, and Parish Facilities of the Code of Ordinances relative to the manner of event setup and charge of setup fees, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And that's it.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I'm just thinking about something else.
Okay,
9, ordinances and resolutions on second reading and final passage. 9A.
We're going to defer item 1.
All right.
And deferred item 2, and deferred item B, so we'll go to C.
We're going to defer C.
No, we'll move on C.
They wanted us to defer this
Oh,
one.
they wanted you to defer it?
D, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan parish-wide water pressure model project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Champagne. And
We have a motion by Mr. Champagne.
As fill in the blank.
D.
Yes.
Yeah. You can-
Could you please fill in the blank so we can offer it?
D, fill in the blanks. Who's looking for it?
So we jumped to D.
No, that's where we are.
Water. Sewer and water.
Defer.
Okay.
Do this.
Second.
No, I'm with you. I just didn't know how to handle it.
We have a motion by Mr. Champagne, seconded by Dr. Gouy. Mr. Champagne,
Kim, are you going to fill in the blank here?
just sewer and water.
All right.
That was
And
it.
again, this is for the modeling, to do the pressure study throughout the parish to best determine where we're going to put future booster pumps or pumping stations. So this information helps feed data into the master plan for both water and sewer that the administration is currently working on. So I request your support. I yield.
Any comments from the audience?
So just to get this straight, it's coming from the sewer and water fund, is that, okay?
That was going in the blank?
That's going in sewage and water.
I thought we just got rid of that fund.
No, that's the sewer project.
Oh.
Any comments from the table? Administration, machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
Mr. Chairman, can we revert back to introductions?
Yes.
We're going to remove the introduction, the final one that was done about the setup, the event setup and charge of fee setup, and we're going to reintroduce this one instead. An ordinance to amend and as amended, readopt section 17.5-2 of chapter 17.5, article 1, Parks, Recreation, and Parish Facilities of the Code of Ordinances relative to the manner of event setup and charge of setup fees and rental rates and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And that's for Councilmember Edwards.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Introduce being,
That's introduced in lieu of the one I first read.
what are we doing, well, what are we doing with this one? I don't-
This is just an introduction.
We're going to item H.
E will be withdrawn. A resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee the authority to execute, perfect, and enforce any and all documents required for the Office of Community Development, Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
I so offered.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Newsom. Any comments from the audience? From the table? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0. Next item, please.
I, an ordinance to amend the 2023 General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget, Legal Services General Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Gouy. Any comments from the audience? From the table? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously.
An ordinance to amend the five-year capital improvements plan joint emergency coordination center project in the Basin 2 sea level rise mitigation and resilience improvements project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Newsom. Any comment from the audience? From the table? Administration?
Could you tell me what this is and where it's going to be at? From reading it out, I can't understand.
This is the grant for the Medal of Honor Park right here. This is 100% funded. It's a pump station number 2 in the back off of Woodland Highway, improvements there as well.
Any more comments from the table? Administration? Machines open. And the measure passes unanimously.
Just real quick, Mr. Murray Knockin is looking down on you guys with a big old smile on his face. This is a project that he started 20-something or 30 years ago. So that this, when I called Miss Janine Knockin and told her that this was coming in the pipeline, she says, Keith, I've got to sit down, and she was bawling. So this is a great thing right here.
Got plenty of calls on it too, everybody thanks.
Yeah.
Passes unanimously, 9-0. Next item.
K will be deferred. L, an ordinance to amend the five-year capital improvements plan, Oakville to LaRue Seat back levy project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Newsom.
So often.
We have a motion by Mr. Newsom, seconded by Mr. Jurtich. Mr. Newsom?
Mr. Helmers, I'm sure you got plenty of knowledge of this issue. Way more than I do, so.
Right. This is to cover the expense that wasn't included in engineering and calculations of the slope pavement We will be recovering this money at a later time through an E&O policy, but the state has rejected the calculations were short compared to what was actually on the drawings. They were more, but the calculations were short, so there was some discrepancies there, and the state put a hold on the funding to pay our contractor, which is Hard Rock. So this money would go to them to cover that cost, and we will recover that cost from the engineering firm and the people that calculated all that.
Would you elaborate on where the money coming from?
The money will be coming from the coastal bond from districts 6 and 7. Mr. LaFrance is going to put up a little bit but that money will be returned upon receiving it back.
With interest? More than 2%. I know that.
Can't do something without a deal, that's the sad.
Any more comments from the audience? From the table? Mr. Champagne?
Mr. Helmus, can you elaborate on what engineering firm blew calculations this bad? I mean, it'd be a good thing to know.
HNTB.
Thank you.
Administration? Machines are open? Mr. Champagne, okay. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
M, an ordinance to repeal ordinance number 9077 to prohibit the parking of vehicles on Belle Chase Road and Fort Jackson Street in the Belle Chase area, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Gui.
I'll ask for a second.
Well, we have a motion by Dr. Gui, seconded by Ms. McCarty. Any comments from the audience? Please state your name and your address.
Vanessa Billiard, 109. Vanessa Billiard, 109 Grand Island Street. This ordinance was originally adopted in 1990. And it reads, residents of Grand Island Street has complained of individuals who do not reside in the area parking their vehicles on Grand Island Street at all hours of the day and night. Whereas these vehicles congest the area, block driveways, and hamper the safety of the residents and their visitors of Grand Island Street, and create a danger and hazard to the children who play in the area, who may dart between these parked vehicles. I don't need to read the rest of this. I moved there June 18th, 2018. And we don't have a problem. If anybody has a complaint about the vehicles parking or family visiting, parking in front of your house, it should be me. I'm the only one on the street who has kids. I have my 4 grandkids starting from the age of 6 to 10. We don't have that problem. We don't have kids. We're in 2023. You know, this is old. So I would appreciate it if you just realize 1990 to 2023, we have a peaceful street. My kids play in the backyard. We have a swing. We have whatever they need. It's in the backyard. They're not running up and down the street. So I really, I'd appreciate it if you really take a look at this and look at the time, and we're in 2023. And I'm the only one there with kids, and I don't have a problem with people parking on the side, in front of our own houses. And we respect the neighbors. And we have Heidi, she's my neighbor.
We on item M.
What is it? Okay, thank you.
Is there any more comments from the audience? From the table? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes 6-4, 3 against from District 1, District 7, District 9. Next item.
And an ordinance to rescind, annul, and set aside ordinance number.
That's okay. I just don't, if the council members understood what they were voting on,
We were actually achieving what the gentlelady wanted in the ordinance. So when she spoke, it sounded like the ordinance wasn't achieving that, but it was achieving that because it was leaving in Fort Jackson Street and Belchase Street, and it removed Grand Isle Street.
No, she was in favor.
She was in favor of.
I thought she was against it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying that she's the only one that has
Can we
kids.
go back?
But
She's okay.
it passed, so I don't know that it matters. But
Let's
it's,
go back to the item.
I don't know if you want to be on record.
Yeah, let's go back to the item, please.
It's okay.
Reconsideration.
I mean, it passed. You don't have to bring it back for my sake.
Yeah,
I just misunderstood. I misunderstood. I don't think you
let's
have
get
to
it.
bring
Motion
it back.
to
I can
we have a
live.
motion to reconsider.
Okay.
Second. Could you bring it back up?
Who offered?
We have a motion by Reverend Evans to reconsider, seconded by Mr.
Second.
Okay. Motion to reconsider.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Schultz to reconsider, seconded by Mr. Newsom. This is, machines are open for the reconsideration. And it passes 9-0 unanimously. We'll go back to the item.
An ordinance to repeal ordinance number 9077 to prohibit the parking of vehicles on Belchase Road and Fort Jackson Street in the Belchase area, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Gui.
We have a motion by Dr. Gui,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Schultz. Any comment from the audience? The table?
Yep.
Dr. Gui?
I didn't think it was necessary to speak on this. I sent a letter out to everyone explaining the situation. We polled everybody on the street. We had 10 people said, get rid of the old ordinance. We don't have a problem. 3 people said, leave it, but they don't have a problem. So I'm just trying to straighten up some stuff that was done in 1990 for whatever reason. We don't need it. The people on the street are happy. Let's vote and move on.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Good. Thank you, Rini.
Any more comment from the table? Machines open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
We need to keep those 9 O's going, man.
Justin won't have nothing to write about.
And an ordinance to rescind, annul, and set aside ordinance number 09266 adopted on October 22nd, 2009, and otherwise provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
Offer.
We have a motion by Mr. Schultz,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Newsom. Any comment from the audience? From the table? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
Oh, a resolution authorizing the parish president on behalf of the Plaquemines Parish Council to certify to the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development that the Plaquemines Parish government has complied with all FHWA DOTD requirements in 2023 relative to bridges located in Plaquemines Parish under the Plaquemines Parish government's jurisdiction and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Champagne.
We have a motion by Mr. Champagne,
Second.
seconded by Reverend Evans. Any comment from the audience? From the table? Mr. Konovich?
This is the way our engineer went and inspected these bridges, and they said it's good?
It could be.
Because the last 2 years we voted yes on this, and they condemned the ferry ramp each year.
We'll have to get with engineering on this, what they want, how they want to approach it. We've got all the bridges on the east bank that we do the inspections on as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They did them the last 2 years, and they said they was good. We vote on them. And the next week, DOTD condemns a ferry ramp.
Please speak in the mic.
Well, we'll just have to, we'll get with them. And I know there's some on the east bank that may be condemned, so we'll just have to deal with it and when we close them down, so.
Mr. Champagne?
Yeah, I used to be involved in this program probably 30 years ago, and there are certain ones that the parish looks at, and there's certain ones that DOTD looks at. You're not required to be an engineer to inspect these. Ordinarily, they send a field worker to go out there and look at certain requirements of the bridge, check for spalling, check for wear and tear. So it's not a true engineering inspection. It's an inspection to see about whether the bridge is in good shape. If there's any question, then you bring in an engineer. So this says we've done our due diligence and gone and looked at them and identified any shortcomings, and then brought those shortcomings, i.e. a ferry landing, up to higher. So that's just saying we've met the basically looking at like the secondary bridges, the 20-foot spans that cross over ditches, and looked at them and reviewed them. Again, they point out for DOT to come do further inspections, which apparently they did, and condemned them. So it's not necessarily saying you condemn that you shut it down. It's saying that you came and looked at it and potentially alert DOTD, or they come during their election cycle. That's all it's saying. I yield.
Fine. And the next week, on both years, they condemn a ferry ramp. I'm good.
Any more comments from the table? Administration? Machines open? And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0. Next item.
P, an ordinance to rescind, annul, and set aside ordinance number 2352 adopted on April 27, 2023, and 2372 adopted on May 25, 2023, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Yeah, I offer this one because we're going to introduce another one on next week, right?
Do we need well, I'll ask. I'll wait.
What is your wishes, Mr. Reverend Ellis?
Yeah, I'm saying offer it because I'm introducing another one to make the changes. This is the one where, isn't this the one where we took the money for the tower? Is this the one this is?
Yeah, this is where my understanding is this is the one where you were trying to rescind where the council had moved the money from the ferry ramps. But I will tell you, I don't have an introduction. Nobody asked me to draft you another introduction to submit to replace this. We did the one with the facility fees, but not this one.
Yeah, and I thought we was introducing another one for.
I did hear an ordinance earlier that the port introduced, which was to move money around, but on the government side, nobody told me that we were doing that. So I didn't do one for the government. I mean, I can do it next time, but.
Yeah, because our understanding is, because when we met, was saying that we'll come up with another one for $1 million because we took the money, the Pope was understanding it was going to be to use $2 million. And the last time we met, my understanding.
Rev, we are out of order. We discussed an item.
Okay.
You can offer it for discussion.
Offer for discussion.
We have a motion by Reverend Edwards to offer this item for discussion, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Reverend Edwards.
I just want to get clarity on that's all.
Okay.
Now let's vote.
Now you finished discussing?
Yeah, I'm finished.
No.
Hey, all right. Let's move to the next item.
No vote?
No vote. He just offered it for discussion.
We
Okay.
deferring it? All right.
I guess.
Yeah, defer.
Yeah.
10, approval of the minutes from the September 28th, 2023 regular meeting.
We have a motion by Dr. Gouy, seconded by Ms. McCarty. Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously, 9-0.
B, District 7 update, Councilmember LaFrance.
Deferred.
All right.
I learned from that.
Don't hit no D tonight.
We have a motion to adjourn.
At 7 o'clock.
Second, we have a motion by Mr. Schultz, seconded by Dr. Gouy for adjournment. Machines are open. And we have adjournment. 8-4.
You can stay.
District 1 is against.
You got fucking Newsom to introduce.
Have fun.
We have adjournment at 7:01 p.m.